As we all know that certain features of our Indian constitution has been borrowed from the constitution of various other countries, and this is the reason why Indian constitution is often being called as bag of borrowings. One of those borrowed feature in the Indian constitution is emergency, which is borrowed from the Weimar constitution of Germany. Before moving further to the provisions and the kinds of emergency, first let's understand what actually emergency mean. Emergency is a situation which takes place suddenly or unexpectedly and demand of immediate action. And if the immediate action wouldn't be taken, the situation of the nation may get worsened. Part 18 of the Indian Constitution talks about emergency from the Article 352 to the Article 360. As we all know that India has a quasi-federal system, but during the time of emergency, it gets turned to a unitary system. Coming to the kinds of emergency, there are three kinds of emergency. First, national emergency, which is mentioned in the Article 352 of the Indian Constitution. Second, the state emergency, which is mentioned in the Article 356 of the Indian Constitution. And lastly, the financial emergency, which is mentioned in the Article 360 of the Indian Constitution. Let's talk about what national emergency is. The ground of imposing the national emergency are war, external aggression, and armed rebellion. Let's understand all these three grounds one by one. So, what war actually is? War comes into force when there is a formal declaration between both the nation for the use of their armed forces. But in external aggression, there is no such formal declaration, but one out of both the nation use their armed forces aggressively on the later one, so that the term here, external aggression, itself defines what it is. Now, the third round of proclamation of emergency is basically internal disturbances. The disturbance which is created within the nation when some particular government or the executive authority starts misusing his or her power, then the situation of national emergency may arise. Now, talking about the approval, like how the proclamation of national emergency gets approved, it gets approved on the recommendation of the cabinet and to be approved by both the houses of the parliament, including Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, with the special majority within 1 month of the proclamation. This emergency continues for the 6 months, and if there comes a necessity to extend the emergency, then within that 6 month only a motion need to be passed by the parliament with the special majority for the next 6 months to extend it. It can be extended for the numerous number of time for the time period of only 6 months by this same process. And if the matter settles down, due to which the national emergency took place in the nation within 2 to 4 months only, then the cabinet minister can ask the president to revoke the emergency, or it can be revoked by the president by bringing the subsequent proclamation even before the 6 months. Talking about the effects of national emergency, all the fundamental rights get suspended during the time of emergency except Article 20 and 21, which is right to life and right to liberty. Second, union can make law in the matter of state list during the time of emergency, due to which union become more powerful. Third, during this time period, President acquires to change the executive and financial power of the state and also the executive and financial power of the union. Fourth, the tenure of the Lok Sabha shall be extended to 1 year during the time period of national emergency. Now, there are several amendments which took place in the context of emergency. Let's discuss it one by one. The first one is 38th Amendment. In 1975, during the time of emergency, this amendment changed the Article 352 by adding the clause 5 in it, stating that President's decision of emergency should be final and conclusive and no one can question it, and no judicial review should be taken place in the context of the emergency imposed by the President. The second one is 39th Amendment. The main aim of this amendment was to change the procedure of the election dispute for the post of President, Vice President, Prime Minister and Speaker. And this amendment stated that the election of their post can't be questioned in the court. Third, the 42nd Amendment. In this amendment, it is stated that amendment of the Parliament can't be questioned. Power of the state government started getting transferred to central government due to this amendment. The word which is in our preamble, socialist, secular and integrity, got inserted by this amendment. Article 31D also got inserted, which talks about the prohibition of national activities. It states that law to prohibit anti-national activity can't be questioned on the basis of its reasonability. The last amendment is 44th Amendment, and the main aim of this amendment was to remove the changes of 42nd Amendment. The internal disturbance was replaced by the term armed rebellion by this amendment in the ground of national emergency. It is declared to be the need of special majority to impose the emergency. Also, it changed the judgment of ADM Jabalpur versus Union of India, which says that the writ of habeas corpus can't be issued during the time of emergency, as during that time all the fundamental rights of the citizens are suspended and they can't even go to the court. So, this amendment saying that Article 20 and 21 can't be suspended changed the judgment of this case. This amendment undo the 30th Amendment, and the ground of proclamation of emergency can't be questioned with its judicial review. Coming to the state emergency, which is mentioned in the Article 356 of the Indian Constitution, it is also popularly known as President's Rule. During this time, President rules that particular state which he feels like that the state is not properly constitutionally ruled by itself, or we can say when the government of that particular state unable to carry out any activity in accordance with the provision of Indian Constitution. Now let's discuss how it gets imposed. There are three grounds on which this emergency is imposed. First, when the governor through a report notifies the president about the failure of constitutional machinery in the state. Second, if the president himself is satisfied by the another such reason. Third, if the state doesn't follow the direction as provided by the center. If out of these three any one is not getting fulfilled, then the situation of emergency in that particular state may arise. It is passed by both the houses of parliament with simple majority within 2 months of the proclamation, and it can only be revoked by the president. Talking about the effects of the president's rule in the state, first is union become more powerful than the state, and union can make the law in the matter of state list. Second, legislative assembly of that state can get suspended or get dissolved completely. Third, the financial and executive power of the state gets redistributed due to this, which makes union powerful. And due to all these effects, central authorities can misuse the power which they acquire during this time period. And to stop certain misuse of this, a judgment of case named S.R. Bomai versus Union of India came, which says if this kind of situation is created, then at least state should get notice of 10 days prior to prove its majority by the floor test, and if the state fails to do this, the precedent rule will apply. The biggest weapon to prevent the misuse of emergency provision is Minerva Mill judgment of 1980. All the emergency provision, whether it's national emergency or state emergency, it will come under judicial review, and if such emergency applied with a malice intention, or we can say wrong or bad intention, then Supreme Court can declare such emergency null and void. Talking about the extension of this emergency, it's same as national emergency, but the approval of parliament should come within 2 months, and the precedent rule can be extended up to 3 years for the duration of 6 months. Now, at last, we come to the financial emergency, which is mentioned in the Article 360 of the Indian Constitution. It is imposed on the situation of financial stability or financial credibility. It gets approved by the Parliament within 2 months of the proclamation. There is no extension as such in this kind of emergency. It can be in application till it feels the needful. Now, talking about certain effects in this kind of emergency, the first is it reduces the salary and allowance of the public servant, means the person who works under the government, who are the public servant. The salary and allowance of those person gets reduced. It also gives it impact on judiciary too, like salary of Supreme Court and High Court judges can also be reduced during this emergency. This emergency is not imposed yet in our nation. So, this was all about the emergency provisions of India. I hope you find this video needful. Thank you.